Herding weanlings like that is like herding cats. Sometimes the best business decisions don't feel good here, and I gotta feel good both ways. My husband is always super impressed with my carpentry skills. You guys! Shut up! All right, I'm gonna have to talk to you later. Good morning. Me and my husband moved that small group of kids into a new pasture this morning. Herding weanlings like that is like herding cats, so I cannot do it myself. So he helped me with that quick. I want to move the cattle to that middle pasture to bale graze for a couple days, probably 3 days, however long it takes the cattle to finish a bale. I'll basically have one more pasture left after that, and I'm gonna have to park everybody and put the kids into confinement. So I'm pretty much out of good pasture. I'll maybe get a quick rotation if we get some rain. I do have plenty of forage left for my does that are in the woods with their kids. They've got probably a week left where they're at, and then I can move them to the other side of the woods, and they'll have probably about 2 weeks there. And then actually, I think I'm gonna move them down into the gully. So I've got a good month left for them until those kids are weaned. My does up on the neighbor's property, I am starting to bale graze them, but I'm not exactly gonna bale graze them. Right now, the only stored forages I can afford to give them is baleage. I only have 24 dry bales of hay this year, but I can't just open a bale and feed it to them. For one, I just can't get goats to finish a bale of baleage quick enough. So what I'm gonna do is kind of use the cattle to help me with that. So I'm gonna put like 3/4 of a bale in the bale ring, and then like 1/4 of a bale up by the goats, and they should finish that in about the same amount of time. So every time I open a new bale, it'll get eaten down in a proper amount of time. You can't just let those moist stored forages sit around. But I have no way to deliver it. And if I put it on the ground up there, the goats just lay in it, they poop in it, and then they don't want to touch it. They just will not clean it up and utilize it. Now, is that wasted? Not necessarily, because I'm using it to renovate the pasture. But yes, I have limited hay this year. I can't afford to just be throwing it on the ground. So I'm gonna bust out my carpentry skills today and try to solve that problem. Good morning, guys. How are you? You're all down here chilling? I treated a little guy in here for a little diarrhea yesterday. I just want to check on him. 2 days ago, actually. All of a sudden, very quickly, the kids finally figured out their creep feed, and this happens in every group. It's like it's always available and they just don't get it, and all of a sudden one day they catch on, and then I see a little gastric upset. Oh, well, he still definitely has the rhea, but it looks like it's less runny. Like it looks like it's getting stickier. The problem is I can't just completely remove him from it without like separating him from the group, and so it takes a little bit of time to kind of heal that up. But hi, I might give him one more dose of mineral oil just to keep it moving through and not let anything sit in there. Just takes their tummy a little time to adjust to that. Changes the pH, changes the way stuff moves through. They're also in a new section of forage up there, so what they're eating might be a little different. So any change they get just really changes things up. Especially, they're also pre-ruminants, like their rumens aren't fully developed yet. So it just, like any little change really gets them. You guys broke your mineral feeder. All right, well, add that to the list of things to take care of today. You can see just a few of these little guys just got a little bit of loose stool now starting. Nothing major. They actually have a little bit of grain, so I think I'm gonna let them clean that up. Hi. I don't know if I ever updated you. So she's still got a little bit that she keeps picking on, but her C-section healed up nicely. She's had kind of 2 strikes now, and I talked to the vet. In January, she had kidded. She had one that had died in utero quite some time before giving birth. One that looked like it had it had freshly died. And then one that was born weak and didn't make it through the night. We did send placenta and a fetus in for testing. Came back negative for all abortificants. We didn't think there was anything going on there. This time she had one die in utero and ended up having to have a C-section. And that kid was ripe by the time we got it out. It was effervescent. I talked it over with the vet, and she's, we kind of went back and forth about things that can cause death in utero and whatnot. And she's like, I honestly think it's happened to be coincidence. Like, she's tested negative for kind of the main culprits. So we're going to give her one more chance and hope that she has a successful kidding. Briar had a C-section last year. She had a previous kidding to that was successful. Then she had a C-section, and now she's on her 3rd lactation, and she did fine this year. No problems. So, I mean, the C-section doesn't automatically disqualify her. It is concerning that she lost 2 in utero consecutive pregnancies in a row. But because we did do testing and we know there's nothing wrong in terms of disease, viruses, we'll give her another chance. At this point, she's only worth cull prices. I've got the investment in her. For what she eats, it's not really costing me that much to keep her, to feed her another 6 months and see if we can breed her back. Hi, Sweet Pea. This is a little runty girl. When we moved them this morning, I said, just leave her behind. I'll come get her with the 4-wheeler. She's never gonna amount to anything, and she's so friendly that she doesn't herd, and I knew we'd never get her to follow the group because she just does her own thing. So I don't know. Honestly, the best financial decision would probably be to just cut my losses and cull her, but usually when you've got kind of a runty one like this, they eventually catch up. You just send them in with the next group. It's not profitable. I don't know. I don't have it in me. I have a hard time. Sometimes the best business decisions don't feel good here, and I gotta feel good both ways. So you win some, you lose some. Come here, little girl. Come out. No. Hey, come on. Let's go for a ride. Well, I made the mistake of going in and eating breakfast. God forbid I feed myself. The does up on the neighbor's property are, don't like any of the forage they have left. And I'm making that feeder today so that I can bring them baleage. Well, they didn't like waiting. So, come girls, come girls! They decided they're gonna come home. They're all eating this brush here. I have no problem keeping them in as long as they got something to eat. And I was on my way to go bring them hay and I seen them coming out of the woods. So, come on girls, let's go. Hey, you already ate that this year. Let's go home. Come on, come girls, come girls, come girls. Come girls, come girls. Come girls, come girls. Yeah, hold on, I can't clap at the same time. Come on, come girls, come girls. Let's go. Come on. Hopefully they all come. I don't think they know where I want them to go. They might go to the barn. They probably will go in the barn to look for feed. There might be some up in the pasture yet, so we'll see. Don't you dare go in her garden. Turn. No, you cannot go in there. Follow Briar. Keep going. All right. This is all open. This is open at all 4 access points. So let me just close this up here. Went in and changed clothes again. The weather's having a super hard time trying to figure out what it wants to do today. It goes from like sunny and humid to like overcast with a little bit of a breeze, and it's been flip-flopping back and forth all morning. So all right, I need to get a bale up to the cattle. Chickens are still locked up, and then I still haven't fed these guys. You can wait, you're naughty. So I've got 19 bales left over from last year, just quite a bit. The cattle are not going to be impressed, but that's what they're going to get this fall because it's got to get eaten up. I am planning on letting them pick through it and kind of take what they want and leaving more residue than normal because I want to bale graze across the tops of that high spot across all those pastures and then seed into it. So I'm thinking they'll probably go, as soon as they start bellowing and not wanting to eat it, I'll move them, give them a new bale. So I'm gonna let them waste way more than I normally do. I normally force them to eat the whole thing. But this is just a different situation. I'm trying to get more residue down on the ground. And with this being older hay, they're not gonna love it. flipping the inventory here and found this little trailer. I'd forgotten all about it, and then I saw it sitting here yesterday, and I called my husband and I said, you know, that little trailer up in the weeds? I said, can I make a little feeder out of that? And he said, yeah, that's what we were gonna do with it. That's what it was for. And I said, oh, well, I don't remember that conversation. The tires are holding air. They're low, but we'll go down and pump them up. I should be able to pull it out of here. It's kind of rickety, but the frame is really solid, so I think it'll make a nice little feeder for me. All right, I'm gonna go grab a feed bag to write on, measure some stuff up, make some plans, and then I found a bunch of scrap wood. I mean, can't use new wood, I gotta take old stuff apart. My husband is always super impressed with my carpentry skills. I like to impress him like that, so he'll be in for a treat when he gets home. If I even finish it yet today. Just some flexible coated wire holding this thing together. Oh boy, just some flathead screws holding this down. Ooh. Oh boy, okay, hold on. I'll just get the grinder. Off. I think I'm just gonna zip them all off. I should really get the wire brush out and paint it, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. We gotta get this done, right, Lucy? You gonna help? You gonna help me? Good girl. Ding dong. My husband came home before dark last night and I had him screw down some plywood onto here because do I look like a person who's gonna get sheet metal screws in this frame? No. I'm gonna try and build the sides. I only got about an hour to work on this and then I gotta move on to other stuff, so hopefully it'll get done or at least mostly done My husband wants to lay block in this area tonight. He's gonna try to be home before dark tonight so he can lay a course or two of block. So I'm gonna get going on this, see how far we get. All right, it's pretty sturdy. I'll make a lid for it another day. I don't have time today. Basically, you've got a back gate that comes off here. I was gonna make it four-sided, but then I changed my mind because I thought it might be nice to have an option to transport goats in someday. So once I get a lid made for it, I can throw some adults in here. I'd have to do something with the sides if I want to put kids in it. For now, this will do. I'll be able to get quite a bit of hay in here. Good morning. I came back here to vaccinate. None of the goats were here, but they heard the four-wheeler, so I think they'll be here shortly. I think they think I'm gonna bring them some feed. Their feeder was emptied yesterday, which is perfect timing because I want to move them. It's gonna be a day of raining on and off. It looks like it's gonna be real spotty, with a bunch of thunderstorms that roll through. You guys, shut up. All right, I'm gonna have to talk to you later. The doe's feeder is actually empty. I just threw like 3 pounds of creep feed in it to keep them interested. I need to vaccinate them. This is the last group that's getting that chlamydia vaccine that hasn't had it yet, that we added this year. I actually did the up and coming doelings that are coming into the herd, all my replacements. I did them earlier in the week. I thought I had enough to do everybody, but I think when I ordered it last time and I counted, I didn't include my replacements. So I was a little short and I had to reorder stuff. So I was waiting for that to come. I get them done today. All of the kids in this group are 6 or 7 weeks old. So I am not going to replenish feed for these does. The kids are all on creep and eating forage really well. The does are gonna continue to produce milk, just not at the rate they were. They've still got good forage. So I'm gonna move them down closer to our barn. I have some real weedy areas around some of our building materials there, and then I'm gonna kind of move them into the woods. The cattle are pretty much out of forage. Right now I'm gonna have to park them. So I'm gonna be bale grazing across the top of that middle pasture where we have all those kind of bare gravelly spots. I gave them a bale yesterday morning and they haven't touched it. They'd rather scalp the grass to the ground than eat that. So I'm gonna force them to go into the pasture with the bale. They have access close to the barn right now to get their water, which is much easier for me. But if I don't move them out of that pasture, they're just gonna try to keep eating that forage down to the ground instead of eating that bale. So I'm gonna have to move their water to the back pasture where I've got that water access point. And force them to bale graze in that middle pasture. So I gotta get water moved around. We gotta get the does moved up from the barn to the neighbor. We gotta get these does moved down. I don't know how much equipment I'm gonna take down today. I might not get time. We're gonna kind of last minute be out of town tomorrow that we weren't expecting to be. So this might have to wait until Monday. My granddaughter comes this afternoon. I'm babysitting, so I have fairly limited time to work with today. But those are kind of like my main things that I have to get done today. All right, I've got 2 that I have to catch yet that I'm probably not gonna catch in the woods. I'll have to have my husband help me once I'm done. Funny story, I have exactly what I need in this bottle to do those last 2 ones. Turns out I did have enough the whole time, I just didn't think it was gonna be enough. So I could have done this 4 days ago. That's what happens when mom says you're done nursing and you try to sneak in from the back. You get crapped on.